We're up to 2009, and in the 2009 season, we finally got what everybody wanted. We got Crosby on one side of the ice, we got Ovechkin on the other, and it was a game that really mattered. It was a series that really mattered. It was the 2009 Stanley Cup playoffs. In this series, both Crosby and Ovechkin showed, we're kind of the best in the game. And Malkin also reminded people he was pretty good too. Now, this was a series that featured a lot of Russian players playing for the Capitals. And you'll see that as we go through, including a guy named Fedorov playing for the Caps this season. Semin out there, Viktor Kozlov was on this team as well. And then, again, you've got Malkin representing the Russian side in Pittsburgh. So this game featured a ton of scoring. There's only one period of hockey where we don't see a goal, and that's in Game 5. So we see at least one goal in every single period outside of that. Game 1 starts early. Crosby from Guerin and Gonchar at 4:09. So 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh, and then Washington, they storm back. At first it's Steckel from Matt Bradley and Like at 13:50, and then it's a power play goal. It's Ovechkin from Semin and Backstrom at 17:03. So Ovechkin's on the board, Crosby's on the board. It's 2-1 Capitals after one. Second period, Eaton scores to tie it from Malkin and Kunitz at 12:54. 2-2 tie going into the third. Early in the third period, it's Fleischmann scoring from Backstrom and Semin at 1:46. And the Pittsburgh Penguins unable to score another one on Varlamov. Varlamov saves 44 out of 46. This was an interesting one where Jose Theodore had been the starter, and then in the playoffs, Varlamov takes over. Fleury saves 23 out of 26 in the loss. So Capitals are up 1-0. Varlamov's continuing this rise that he's been going through in net for the Capitals. And so we go into Game 2 with the momentum on the side of the Capitals, and they keep it. Home ice means something through the first 4 games of this series. In the first period of Game 2, it's Crosby again. He scores on the power play from Gonchar and Letang at 6:38. So 1-0 Pittsburgh after one. Second period, Ovechkin ties it because of course he does. Ovechkin from Kozlov and Fedorov at 2:18. So a nice Russian flavor on that one. Crosby would restore the lead from Kunitz and Guerin at 10:57. But Steckel ties it from Sloan and Pothier at 15:49. So 2-2 after 2, and then in the third, Ovechkin takes over. He scores first from Green and Backstrom at 12:53. And then less than 3 minutes later, he scores again from Kozlov and Fedorov at 15:22. The Penguins get a power play late. They make it close. It's a power play goal. It's Crosby. So both players get a hat trick in this game. Crosby from Malkin and Sikora at 19:29. So Fleury saves 29 out of 33. Varlamov saves 33 out of 36. Both star players have hat tricks in this game. That's kind of what everybody wanted to see. It's Ovechkin, it's Crosby, and it's one-upsmanship taken to that degree. Game 3. So Pittsburgh down 2-0. They're going to have to win 4 out of 5 in order to knock out the Capitals. How do they do it? First period, it is now Ovechkin on the road getting the first goal, like Crosby did in games 1 and 2. Green gets the assist at 1:23. Second period, early, Fedotenko scores from Talbot and Letang at 29 seconds. It stays tied through the rest of that second period. Third period, over the halfway mark, it's a power play goal. It's Malkin from Crosby and Gonchar at 15:01. And then the Capitals get a power play, and they score. It's Backstrom on the power play from Ovechkin and Semin at 18:10. We go to overtime. A little over halfway through the first overtime period, Chris Letang ends it from Eaton and Crosby at 11:23. Varlamov, 39 saves on 42 shots in the loss. Fleury only faces 23 shots, saves 21 of them. And the Penguins are behind 2-1. But again, all the Capitals have to do is win one in Pittsburgh, and they're up 3-1. And we know 3-1 is almost insurmountable. But it is Washington, so we're already starting to see some doubt creep into, well, my mind for one, and probably in the minds of a lot of Capitals fans, because this was a team that had found ways to lose against the Capitals before, or against Penguins before. Now, they score again first. Now, the team that scores first lost all 3 of the games to start the series, and they lose the 4th as well. It's Backstrom from Semin at 36 seconds, so very early. But then there's a power play goal by the Penguins. It's Sergei Gonchar at 3:15. Bill Guerin then makes it 2-1 for the Penguins from Crosby and Kunitz at 10:47. And then Fedotenko makes it a 2-goal lead from Stahl and Scuderi at 15:25. It's 3-1 after one. Second period, Chris Clark gets it a little closer from Green and Ovechkin at 15:08. But Early in the third period, it's who? Sid the Kid. Crosby gets the goal from Shaitan and Guerin at 4:16. It's a 2-goal lead, but very short period of time before that lead gets extended again. It is Ursina scoring shorthanded from Gordon and Bradley at 6:23. However, the Pittsburgh Penguins add one. It's Talbot from Fedotenko and Scuderi at 14:46. Scuderi with a couple of helpers in this game. Varlamov, 23 saves on 28 shots in the loss. Marc-Andre Fleury, 19 saves on 22 shots. So Fleury's numbers are pedestrian in this series. And yet, Pittsburgh has a 2-2 series tie now. Now they're going to Washington. So all Washington has to do is hold court at home. They've won their first 2 at home. They need to win game 3 or game 5. Now, in their to their benefit, Stahl scores for Pittsburgh first. So all 4 of the first 4 games in this series, the team that scores first loses. Stahl scores from Shaitan and Orpik at 5:17. That lead lasts less than a minute. Ovechkin scores from Poti at 6:16. We then get a power play goal by Backstrom from Fedorov and Ovechkin at 14:35. So the Capitals up 2-1 after 1. Second period, Fedotenko scores from Malkin and Letang at 51 seconds. So that first minute goal. And then Matt Cook, everybody's favorite, from Kennedy and Stahl at 6 minutes and 27 seconds. That gets a lead for the Penguins. It doesn't last, though. Second half of the period, Ovechkin scores from Backstrom and Green at 15:52. It's 3-3 after 2, and in the third period, we get no scoring at all. So we go to overtime. Early in the overtime, it's a power play. It's in favor of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Malkin scores from Kunitz at 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Now the Penguins are up 3-2, going home. They've won both of their home games so far in this series. Things look good. Game 6, they score first. Guerin from Crosby and Kunitz at 5:55. So that's the only scoring in the first. All they have to do is hold this, and the Capitals will have gone from a 2-0 series lead to losing in 6, losing 4 in a row. Second period, Kozlov scores from Ovechkin and Morrison at 6:27. That's Shane Morrison. And then Fleischmann scores from Fedorov and Semin at 14:42. So the Capitals trying to change the narrative. Eaton would tie it on the power play from Malkin and Boucher at 19:26. So it's 2-2 entering the third, and it goes kind of crazy in the third. Power play goal by Letang from Goligoski and Malkin at 4:40. Less than a minute later, the Capitals on a power play. It's Like from Semin and Ovechkin at 5:38. And then Kozlov would put the Capitals in the lead from Backstrom and Ovechkin at 6:07. So in a period of a minute and 27 seconds, the game's going back and forth, and the Capitals have a lead. But Crosby is the one that ties it. He scores from Orpik and Malkin at 15:42, so we go to overtime. And in overtime, it had been the Penguins. On this night, it's the Capitals' turn. Steckel scores from Like and Bradley at 6:22. Varlamov, story again, 38 saves on 42 shots. Fleury saves 19 out of 24. So we go to Game 7. And again, all the Capitals have to do is win a Game 7 at home. That's all they have to do here. Win a Game 7 at home against the Penguins. First period, it's scoreless through the first half, but 8 seconds. 8 seconds changes the entire series. Game 7, here we go. Power play goal, Crosby from Gonchar and Malkin at 12:36. And 8 seconds after that, it's Craig Adams with a goal from Fedotenko and Orpik at 12:44. And that's going to seal it for the Capitals. Because then in the second period, you get Guerin scoring from Crosby at 28 seconds, followed by Letang from Malkin and Shaitan at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. 2 minutes into the second period, Varlamov's night's over, and the Penguins are up 4-0 in Washington in Game 7. Stahl scores from Shaitan at 11:37. Ovechkin would get the Capitals on the board with a goal at 18:09, but it's 5-1 after 2, and we all know what's going to happen. Third period, Crosby gets a power play marker at 2 minutes and 2 seconds, so they continue to try to play the one-upsmanship with one another, but Crosby stands tall in this one with 2 goals and an assist thus far in the game. And then Brooks Laich would score from Fleischmann at 6:36, makes it 6-2. But nobody really believed that the Capitals were going to rifle off 5 goals in the third period to tie this up. Even though Fleury had looked shaky, it wasn't going to happen. Marc-Andre Fleury, 19 saves on 21 shots in the victory. Varlamov saves 14 out of 18. Jose Theodore goes in and saves 10 out of 12. So, in the end, the Capitals just can't quite make it work. They had a 2-0 series lead. They lost 3 in a row. They forced a Game 7 at home. And they did what the Capitals did up until that point in their history. They found a way to lose it. Crosby, 8 goals and 5 assists in this series. Again, the Crosby-Ovechkin matchup was everything we thought it could be. Ovechkin had 8 goals and 6 assists in this series. Malkin, 2 goals, 8 assists. Bill Guerin, 3 goals, 3 assists. Letang, 3 goals and 3 helpers. Fedotenko, 3 goals, 2 assists. Gonchar only played in 5 games, had a goal and 4 assists in the 5 games he played. Kunitz had 5 assists. Fleury, 4 and 3 with an .878 save percentage. Backstrom on the Capital side had 3 goals, 5 assists. Semin, 6 assists for him. Kozlov, 2 goals, 2 assists. Like had 2 goals, 2 assists. Sergei Fedorov had 4 helpers. And Mike Green had 4 assists as well. Varlamov was 3 and 4. He had an .898 save percentage. And Theodore, no record, and an .833 save percentage in the appearance he had. So there you go. The Washington Capitals, Pittsburgh Penguins, the battle between Ovechkin and Crosby, everything we'd hoped it would be. And if you're a Penguins fan, it turned out exactly the way that you likely thought it would before the series started. And again, for the Capitals, it was just, there were so many times where the Capitals almost break through. They almost get over that hump, and then they don't quite get there. They had beaten the Rangers in 7 before losing to Pittsburgh. For the Penguins, they beat Philadelphia in the first round in 6, moved on to sweep Carolina after this, and then they beat Detroit in 7 in an amazing Stanley Cup final. The reason I'm not covering finals is because I've already done videos on finalists and Stanley Cup champions prior. So I'm trying to do series that don't involve the Stanley Cup champions and finalists because I've kind of done that. But at some point in time during this downtime, which appears to be lasting 5 or 6 years, depending on who you ask, I'll have time to do Stanley Cup final series as well. But there you go. The 2009 matchup, it was amazing, and it was everything that anybody could have hoped for, except for myself pulling for the Capitals. This was kind of a disappointing result, but if you were cheering for the Penguins, these guys were probably pretty happy. Thank you guys so much for all your support. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support during this time in our history. I will talk to you guys again soon.